Hi, today we're going to be talking about should you be buying DVC in 2023?
We got a lot of questions and some interesting things that we found out. So I'm Brad.
I'm Kim.
And we're 626 Ohana, California. So today, let's get into it.
Okay, I think this is a really odd and interesting year when it comes to DVC.
Yeah, this is one video we've been wanting to make for a couple of years. And unfortunately, things have been changing really rapidly at DVC. And I think we're getting a clearer picture. This is not meant to be any financial advice or anything like that. We're just trying to put some information out there to help you maybe decide if you're going to buy DVC this year.
Of course, everything's subject to change every single day.
And especially with Disney, things change almost every day, it seems like.
But anyways, we've got some good things for you to take into consideration.
Okay, let's get into it.
First of all, if you want to buy into Disneyland, the new DVC tower at Disneyland Hotel, this might be a good year for you. Why do we say that?
The Disneyland Hotel tower is scheduled to open this year.
So I would guess that's probably towards the second half of the year at some point. Something we've noticed in past is they usually tend to open up sales 3 months before they plan to open the DVC rooms. So that's something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, they did this with the Riviera and all the other properties. So we're going to go by tradition here and say 3 months.
So one of the things we'd also say is usually it opens up to sales to previous owners, which means people that already own into DVC, so DVC members, and then open up later to the general public who want to buy in for the first time.
The reason we're starting out with this, because this is a really big deal. Disneyland has not had a DVC opening since the Grand Californian, and that's had a very limited amount of rooms available.
So the villas at the Grand Californian has sold out. There are wait lists on the resale market, even to buy the contracts that Disney has bought back, there's a wait list to buy those direct. So they have been hugely popular. And of course, Disneyland Hotel, I think this is one of those that are going to sell on the faster side.
So yeah, if you really want it, you may have to be quick.
The one thing we always say about DVC in California, the taxes are higher.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of going in the same theme as you're going to be going with Alani, with taxes being a little bit higher in California. As we know, as we live in California, our taxes are higher.
So that means annual dues will be higher, FYI, probably.
Yeah. So let's go on to another one talking about these new resorts that may make you pause for this year, though.
Okay, so that's the Poly. Poly is getting a brand new DVC tower. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But we don't know where they're going to go with that.
Yeah.
What do we mean? You can look at two models. You can look at the model where they went with when they added on at the Wilderness Lodge. So they already had the Boulder Ridge villas over there, and they ended up adding on Copper Creek villas. Well, unfortunately, they decided to make it like a whole new resort. So those that had Boulder Ridge didn't get that 11-month advanced priority booking at Copper Creek. They're treated as two separate resorts.
Yeah, and this is kind of a thing that we've been hearing that some people weren't exactly happy about that. Yeah. That they were hoping it'd be one total village like the Grand Floridian has with their new studios that they've opened at the Grand Floridian.
Okay, so the Grand Floridian is an example where they took an existing building, refurbished, and just added on more contracts, but those that already had the Grand Floridian contracts now get to book and have that priority at those new studios. Now granted, there are only studios that went in there, but really they did need help over at Grand Floridian. However, you also have to look at Animal Kingdom Lodge when it opened, when they had, but they opened the same time, but they have Jumbo House and Kidani Village. And if you own it either or, you have that 11-month priority. Mm-hmm.
So what we're getting down to is we talked to a lot of DVC representatives and everybody else. They don't even have a clue either what it's going to be. I'm kind of believing from what we're hearing and everybody's hoping it's going to be part of the original Poly contract.
I really hope so, because we're Poly owners, so we'd really like that.
So we're going like this the whole time. But this is where it's so confusing for this year, is especially if you want that, is that, yeah, you can take a chance and buy a resale contract on the used market for Poly and hope that happens, or
wait
until they open it and then they totally announce it. Now with this is the Poly, it does sell pretty high usually. So if they added this on as an add-on, kind of like they did with the Grand Floridian, you possibly could see those contract prices go higher. If it's separate, like Copper Creek and Boulder Ridges at the Wilderness Lodge, you can actually see the original poly ones maybe go down a little bit.
In value, yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing. Brad and I were talking because that would have been one that we are really interested in, is at the new poly tower. But we're original owners, so we're like, what would we do? I was like, if I was really in a bind and not sure if I wanted to buy, I would honestly think about maybe buying the resale market, taking the gamble, and then if it didn't work out, maybe reselling. I don't know. You might still lose money.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a gamble.
It's a hard question to ask, or it's a hard question to answer, and unfortunately, just nobody has those answers right now. So if you really have your heart set on a poly, and maybe we don't know what kind of rooms they have, but 1-2 bedrooms, which would
Hopefully.
be really nice compared to just studios at the poly or the cream of the crop, which is the poly bungalows. That's going to be kind of your chance to take, but it's something out there to be aware of. And talking of buying resale and new is obviously market forces have changed this year considerably.
I've even noticed in the last few weeks, just looking at the resale market, it's gone up and down. Like, it's been really vital. It hasn't been stable by any means. Like, one week it seems really high, the next week it drops. I think if you are one of those that want to buy this year, if you're looking at the resale market, I would watch over and kind of put my pulse on it a little bit and not just jump in.
Yeah, what we're talking about is that obviously right now with the economic times that are going on, and interest rates rising, it is so uncertain what's going on with the market there. Are we going to see the contract prices drop a little bit because a lot of people may need to sell? Or are we going to see them just stay steady like they have been and rising? We just don't know.
Okay, so you might ask, is it worth it to buy it in 2023? I really think it depends on how you're personally feeling and what gambles and what you're looking for this year. More so than any year because of those 2 new resort options opening.
Yeah, and also you have to ask the questions of, are you going to be going to Disney every year? How many points are you going to need? And does the math work out for you? Because when we bought our poly contract, we figured we had a payoff date in about 5 years to have that paid off, and the rest of our vacations are, basically our
annual dues
and fees. So that's the questions you really need to do the math on, and always be aware that Disney prices are, well, as we all know, going up.
Okay, so something we will say, we actually are in the process of buying another resale contract. So that is being out there. Did we buy it the best time? I'm not 100% sure about that, but it was a really good contract.
And see, we just bought one, and we're questioning if we should have bought in 2023. So see, we're even having those questions.
But I honestly don't regret it. I really think that you have to do your homework and know what you want. And this year more so than any other year. I think it really matters if you want to buy into the new Disneyland Hotel DVC tower, what that resort will be. I think that time is of the essence because the demand out here in Southern California for a new DVC rooms has been sky high. So
yeah, we have had people ask, and I mean, we've talked to DVC representatives, said that people have always wanted to know if they're going to get new DVC accommodations, and it's been one of those things that a lot of people on the West Coast actually have been buying Alani just to have something on the West Coast.
But this is a really good. I'm excited. I can't wait to see those DVC rooms. So I think we'll definitely be using some points there.
And the thing is buying the DVC at Disneyland is that you're going to be buying direct through Disney, so you'll get the benefit of the new member lounge that's there.
So yeah, that's kind of one of the things is if you want those direct member benefits and you want to buy into the DVC tower, the Disneyland Hotel, that's going to be, I think this year is the year for you. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure about the poly is going to be kind of one of those things. It probably will not be opening this year, sometime into next year. So when that 3-month mark opens, I once again think that will be another popular resort.
Yeah, and so again, it's like we said, you're taking your chances with the poly if you do buy early and hoping it's going to be that situation, but nobody can answer that. Of course, you always can look at the resale market. And the resale market right now is, I would put it in flux. This is the best.
Yes.
So really pay attention to what you're seeing for the trends. There's a lot of things involved buying resale. So look at what the prices have been kind of selling at and just kind of keep a log of it. And
Yeah,
also,
I just think if you find something, you have a goal of what you would pay for price point, and when it gets there, watch that and watch the resale market, because the resale market websites will have Disney's historical first right of refusal, and then they'll go in and kind of give you a percentage or how many they did for that month or overall for the year, like the month before. So if you're kind of doing your research, kind of figuring out a price point, and you meet that price point, I think that's great. I think that the market is we're kind of waiting to see if there's that recession. You might benefit from waiting.
yeah, so what Kim's talking about with first right of refusal, Disney gets the first opportunity to buy back the contract at the price that you offered at. So you actually have to wait. We just got through our waiting period on that, then got approved. And there's another thing to this whole component is make sure you buy where you want to stay. And we always say that. So that's a big thing with the Disneyland Hotel, because people want to stay out here and want to stay at Disneyland, and they can't do it.
It's really hard to get rooms right now at the Villas Grand California.
Yeah, and so that's another thing that you always got to take in consideration also with the contract. So overall, where are we at on this?
Well, we did buy in 2023. Was it the best choice for us? Yeah, we may not have bought at the best point in the market. We kind of figured that, but it was where we wanted it for the price. I mean, generally the price that we were okay with. But I really think that unless you had your heart set on it, kind of like we did, this may not be the best year.
Yeah, and the reason we did do this is that we were planning on earlier to do this, and the market started hitting at the wrong time for us, but we have the time to do it, and this is what we wanted to do right now. So again, that's one of those things that we've done our due diligence on and research and what we wanted to do, and we kind of understand going into this what we are going into at this moment in time. But it may not be the best for you. As always, you always should do what's best for you and your family and for your own family's finances.
All right, so if you found this video helpful,
please like,
subscribe,
and follow along with our Hana. And I think right now it's time for us to say goodbye and
find your magic. Bye, everyone.